have the thing. Trying to find the thing. Let's start a new story. Start a new story. Start a new story.
It had been a good test of the new system and I'd learned quite a bit about it. There were some things I'd have to do differently for my next game, but that could wait till after I got the characters back from their nap. Much no Gino's testing, no do not judge, testing, wake up now, there is much work to do. The two people in the room were wide awake at once. They both looked around, trying to figure out what was going on. Good morning. It's true you shot a dart of sleeping things so they went back to sleep, but now we are awake it will be more fun. I am happy to see my friends again, and can't wait to get started with our quest. Gino was excited as he jumped up onto one of the chairs. I am going to pull to my sleeping dart fill back down again, and then I will jump onto your head, to wake you up properly. Oh no you don't. I'm not falling for that again. He's just pretending he can't fly anymore. Of course since we slipped his wings off last night that isn't a problem. Gino flew straight to Mark's head. He landed on top of him, pushing aside a pile of books and papers. Mark shouted out as Gino raked his claws across his forehead. Now children, get back in the bed, we're gonna nudie you in the morning. Gino and the other dragon hopped off the table and ran towards me. Come on, let's find something fun to do this morning. I led them outside as I tried to figure out what to do. Well, I might as well neuter them right there. This time I was able to take care of the dragons while they were still asleep. I needed to make sure they didn't wake up again, so I quickly cast an enchantment on all three of them. I'm apparently Khaleesi now and I am applying stabs to the areas, and the enchantment will last until the wounds are healed. That should keep them from hurting themselves or anyone else for a little while. After I finished healing the dragons, I set up some food and water for them so they wouldn't need to leave the yard. And I prepare my husband a meal of the Tubbs Rocky Mountain oyster things, and we go to sleep. They woke up pretty soon after I did. Hey, where are we? We're at home, silly. OW, but where's our friends? In calculator stomach, you'll meet them tomorrow. Where are we going now? To breakfast. I felt like doing something different today, and decided to take them to a restaurant. I was kind of surprised when Gino and Sariel spoke English. Cattle Baron Steakhouse. Alright, you two, you know the drill. Don't speak unless spoken to. And no touching anything unless I tell you. And if you need to make fire, you just go outside and make fire. They nodded and followed me into the restaurant. We sat at a booth by ourselves. You may order whatever you want, but you have to pay for it yourself. You won't get any money until the game starts. What kind of game starts with you and Dad eating steak? That doesn't even sound like a game. It is a game, but a very special one. It is going to be fun. I ordered a plate of the house specialty Rocky Mountain oysters. I can't believe you're feeding us toads. And you like them. Yes, they taste great. So you're not gonna eat them? Nope. Sariel shrugged and walked away to look at the menu. Extra 500 points of weirdness for Kulizzy. Gino and I shared an order of them. He's a pretty cool dude. Yeah, I think he's pretty awesome too. Once we got back to the house, I asked Sariel what he wanted to do. More than something he lost but doesn't know what he lost, he wants to play a game. I'm glad you're having fun. The rest of the day was spent playing board games, drinking beer, watching movies, and hanging out in the backyard. Oh, why you white while it's okay for us to drink beer now? Because it is the only way you can be a dragon. You mean to say I can become a dragon if I drink enough beer? Yes, but you need to be drunk the whole time. Siren a few months later calls Dragon Protective Services to couldn't get a confirmation on the beer thing. When the sun came up, I went outside to check on the dragons. They looked fine. I checked on my garden, and everything seemed to be growing nicely. I had a big pot full of vegetables and herbs sitting beside the fence. There were some tomatoes, squash, peppers, and onions. I also had a small patch of corn, though I hadn't planted it yet because I didn't know how many seeds to use. I went inside and made breakfast. While everyone ate, I told them that this would probably be the last time they'd see each other for a while. I've decided to try and find the other dragons and bring them home. How many dragons and more do you think they are? Maybe 100 dragons. That's a lot of dragons. They aren't all going to fit in my house, so maybe I'll start a new town somewhere else. No, they can't all live in your house. They can if I can invest in Pokemon technology. Then we can all live together as one big family. I don't know how to get that technology, so we have to look for them first. And what are you going to do with these dragons while you're looking for them? I'm going to have faith that they will survive on their own and that they will be able to cover themselves in shiny things and come back here when we're ready. Why do you think they will stay hidden? Well, dragons love treasure. If they're hiding from someone, that means they have to hide in a safe place. With a minimal amount of value amongst other currencies, the Iron Bank is a strong candidate. But what if they aren't even hiding from anyone? What if they just want to be alone? I guess they want to be alone. My first stop was the library. I went deep into the Eldritch stacks and found a book called The Secret of Dragon Hiding Places. It talked about how a dragon had to be careful where they hid their treasure. They shouldn't hide in places that had a lot of people, because that would attract thieves. Another book was called Cruising for Dragons. It told stories about dragons who disappeared and never returned. Some of the books suggested that they went looking for another dragon tribe, but none of them said anything specific. I figured I might as well try and see if there were any dragons nearby. Since I couldn't find anything, I went back to the house to tell the others about it. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I know, I feel bad. But I've looked everywhere, and I haven't found a single clue. Eternal side-eye at the dragon who can't find a single clue anywhere. Do you remember what I told you about how the dragons hide? They hide in places that have a lot of value to them. What if one of the dragons really values their crafts, but in Michael's speak, one of the places has a lot of craft value, and the other one has a lot of money value? Oh, maybe that's it. I got online and searched for things that have a lot of money value. Survey search the World Wide Web for things that have a lot of money value. Search results for the following query: things that have a lot of money value. What is the most valuable thing in the world?